Welcome to the Bring Your Product Idea to Life podcast. This is the podcast for you if you're getting started selling products or if you'd like to create your own product to sell. I'm Vicky Weinberg, a product creation coach and Amazon expert. Every week, I share friendly, practical advice as well as inspirational stories from small businesses. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Bring Your Product Idea to Life. Today I'm speaking to David Hyams from Talking Print, the leading sound and vision in print specialists. For 15 years, David had offered a bespoke B2B service working with some of the largest brands in the country. 5 years ago, he adapted his B2B offer to the consumer market through Amazon Etsy shops in the UK and the US. And his shops offer unique, branded, personalised and blank audio and video cards. So I met David a few months ago and I was really intrigued by his product because it's something that is genuinely really good, but I'd never actually heard of or even thought of before. So he basically sells cards. And if you watch this episode rather than listen, which I highly recommend, you actually be able to see examples. If not, you will be able to hear, but obviously seeing the products would be great as well. So basically cards, and you can add audio or you can add video to them rather than giving a standard greeting card. They are really, really interesting. David's been doing this for a long time, but as we talk about, not many people know about them. So we have a good chat about how David offers what he does, how he started off selling B2C, how and why he decided to pivot and sell B2C as well, the platforms he sells on, his experience of those. We do cover quite a lot in this conversation. I think you're going to find it really useful, and I would love now to introduce you to David. So hi, David. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. It's good to meet you.
So let's start by you please give an introduction to yourself, your business, and what you sell.
Okay, well, my company's called Talking Print. I've been going for 15 years. To start with, we sold to business audio and video cards. And we supplied a bespoke service where we put video and audio into print. To give you an idea.
Oh, you've got an example to show us. To anyone watching this rather than listening.
To be honest, it's very difficult to show you what the products are without actually showing you. But this is a video brochure, and it's got a screen in it, and it plays. So that's a video brochure. And then we also have audio cards. This is an audio card, and it's branded, and it plays a song. So I've been doing that for 15 years, selling to business. And then I've always sold on Amazon and Etsy, but about 5 years ago, I enlarged my sell, trying to get through to a new market.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that introduction. Now, am I right in thinking that you were fairly early with the concept of audio greeting cards and video books? Is that right?
Yeah, I would say with audio cards have been going for many years. You've probably seen them in Hallmark, and they've been around for years. The technology is not new. I was one of the first to market to actually sell it to businesses, to say, why don't you, if you've got a piece of print, why not put an audio in it? And then from that's how I started the business. And then later on I said, well, why don't you put a video in it? And in this digital world, it's good to kind of have something physical and expand on it and have audio and video. And then I've expanded with lights and all lots of innovation.
That's really interesting, because I think I mentioned when we first spoke and when you told me what you did, I didn't actually know that the products you offered were widely available, despite them being around for a really long time. When you first started doing this, so let's think back to when you originally started up, did people immediately understand the concept of what you were trying to sell, or was it something you had to educate people on a little?
That's a good point. I would say with audio cards and video cards, nobody's looking for them. They might have seen them, they might have heard of them. Certainly, with video brochures, I jokingly say that if I had £1 for every person who said, why have I never seen these before? So that, you don't go onto Amazon kind of looking for them unless you've kind of seen something around. So that's the big challenge of getting in front of people that don't know the product.
And where did the original idea come from, David?
The original idea of of video brochures.
Yeah,
Or
or well, I guess when did you get involved? When did you think, oh, actually, this is a
well,
good business idea?
well, I was originally a graphic designer, and then I got into print, and then I got into innovation with print. I, I hate to say I've been doing this an awful long time. Uh, so I've always been into innovating and doing interesting things with print. So when I stopped being a graphic designer, and then I then went into print, and I did. Oh, I was one of the first people to do online greeting cards, and then from online greeting cards, I then went into, well, what else can we do? And that's why I saw audio and video. So I've always been kind of innovating with print. That's my big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, as you were speaking, I was thinking, wow, it sounds like you've always been slightly ahead of what others are
So
doing.
I'm known in the industry as being an innovator.
So with the greetings cards, I know, and coming back to sort of you said you're one of the first to sell cards online. So did you have a store similar to, like Moonpig or something then? Is that what you were doing, sort of the personalized sites where people would go on and choose a card and have it sent? Was that
Yeah,
sort of what?
yeah. I was doing personalized greeting cards at the same time as Moonpig, but I didn't have a, uh, so and as Moonpig found, they didn't have a lot of money. Their fortunes changed when they managed to afford television advertising. Um, so I couldn't get my personalized greeting cards off the ground. But I
No.
learned lots of lessons which have taken me forward to what I'm doing now.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I think the main thing is that I think, and something I'm taking from what we're speaking about so far, is just having a go. I think there's a lot to be said for coming up with an idea and thinking, okay, let's see what happens here. And perhaps if you hadn't started out with the traditional printed greeting cards, it might not have led to you to what you're doing now, perhaps.
No, 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 absolutely. That's the way it works. I kind of come up with ideas, and then I I throw them at the wall and see what sticks. And that's kind of happened what with Amazon and Etsy. Well, that's what Amazon and Etsy allow me to do. Is that I started. In fact, it's always good to show you samples, but with Amazon, I started with this, which is just a plain white A5 card that you can record a message. Hello, hello, hello. And I just put that on Amazon, and guess what? They sold. And that was the beginning. And I just love it that you can put stuff up there and see if they sell. And you can put other stuff up that doesn't sell and you take them down. And then you keep on building a portfolio.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Amazon Etsy later, but I don't want to lose my thread because what I wanted to ask you about, if that's okay, was the actual product development process. So how did you sort of develop the technology that allowed, I know you said the technology to have audio in cards was already around, but how did you come up with the technology, or I don't know if the technology is the right word, but the process of putting a video inside a brochure or a card? Because to someone like me, that sounds quite technically complex.
Well, well, to be honest, the I don't own the technology. The technology is created
Right.
in China. I just kind of say, okay, well, you have you have an audio module that can play an audio. Let's put it in a card. You have a video module that can play video. You put it in a card, and then from that you can offer to your clients, your B2B clients, lots of variations. So I've had over the years lots of different shapes and sizes. Put them in boxes, put them in bottles. That's and that's where clients kind of they throw wacky briefs to me, and then with my contacts in China, we put them together.
Well, that's
Uh,
brilliant.
and with my knowledge of print, I know how to do that, and I know how to get stuff over from China, and I know all about deadlines and just making it work. So it basically starts with the B2B angle of clients having ideas, and then from the B2B, I then turn it into a B2C, where instead of it being long runs, I sell ones to consumers.
That's really interesting. And is the process very different from B2B to B2C, as in terms of the product, creating the actual products? Because as you said, for B2C, you're selling one product or potentially more, but whereas B2B, I assume you're working at scale, like large orders and brochures and things like that. How does that differ?
It's very different. With B2B, I'm dealing with a client, usually a brand, and everything has to be 100%, and it's tied in with budgets and timelines and dealing with China. With B2C, normally what happens is I create the product in the UK, and then I hold it here in the office, and then I sell it on as to to Amazon or Etsy or eBay or whoever will buy it. So I have to pre-buy it. Whereas, so with B2B, it's a one-off project. B2C is an ongoing project.
That makes sense. And how does the actual process work for B2, if you don't mind me asking, for
Oh,
B2C? Do you insert the videos for people, or do people do that, upload it themselves? How does that work?
Okay. Well, this is where I've done a lot of development on the video. People have tried selling video brochures through Amazon, and they've never succeeded because the either the client has to upload the video or we have to do it. But lots of people have different videos, and it's not a standard thing. And so it's, if you don't know about it, it's quite confusing. Um, so that's what I've brought to the table, is that I've tried to make it very easy for people. I just kind of say, buy the book. You've got a video, send it to me and I will upload it for you. No questions asked and no charge. Um, that's where people have tried to do this historically and failed because of the customer service. And I'm big on customer service, I've learned a lot of lessons dealing with my B2B clients where everything has to be 100%.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, because I think you're right. For a lot of people, I think it would be off-putting thinking of, "Oh, how am I actually going to get my video into this card?" It's brilliant that you do that. And is that a really time-consuming thing for you, or is that something where now you've just got your
I've got it
process?
now down to an easy process. It's all done by email. And when on Amazon, well, there's instructions that come with the products, both the audio and the video. If you've got any problems, there's a QR code. You can contact us or by email. And I've now got it down really quickly. Send me a video. It takes me minutes to convert it, and then I send it back, and 99.9% of the time the customer is happy.
And at what point, Dave, did you think, actually, I'm going to expand and sell B2C? Because as you've explained, the process is quite different to what you were doing B2B. Did you identify a gap, or what made you think, actually, this is an area I'm going to look at?
Well, it's quite interesting. During lockdown, I had some very good years for B2B. And I thought, this isn't going to last. I thought I have to diversify. If you don't diversify, you die. And that's where I, I invested in B2C. And after I started investing in B2C, I got a knock on the door from Amazon, and they said, we like your products. We think your products could sell in Europe. And when the largest shop in the world says we like your products, then we think we can sell it, you kind of think, well, okay. Maybe this is a lesson to other people that in the Amazon world that haven't had the knock. They do say to you, we're going to put you on this course and we're going to make you famous. And that's what happened with Europe. They did say, okay, well, we're going to help you take on Europe. What they didn't say was that Brexit was coming along and it's almost impossible to get to Europe. Um, but I learned a few lessons with how to expand the range. And then I got the knock on the door again saying, "Oh, we really like your products. We think these products would work really well in America." And so again, I spent a year developing the product for America. Um, but they don't actually tell you once you've got to America, it's going to, what you have to do and how you do it.
I was about to ask how much support you actually got, because I know that people can get these calls from Amazon and they can, and like you say, it's really exciting, isn't it? They want you on their platform. But how much support did you find you actually got from them once you accepted?
Not a lot, not a lot. Well, I suppose it's up to you. I mean, you kind of realize with Amazon, that's where people like yourself come in. You need support. It's all very well Amazon saying your product can sell really well, but you've got to do your homework as well and see what the competition is. Yeah, my my product. There are other people selling my product, which didn't worry me. There weren't a lot of people, um, and so yeah, sure, my product could sell in America, but there's lots of challenges with logistics, um, getting the product out there, financing it, customer service, returns, all those kind of things when you're based in the UK. So it's all very well saying, yeah, take on America, but it's not always so easy.
Yeah, in my experience, Amazon are very generous in sort of inviting people to join their platform or expand or do whatever it is. But yeah, from what I've seen, the support isn't always there because, of course, their main goal is to make money. So I think it's always flattering, and people should be flattered if they get the invite because it means they've genuinely seen something in your product. Because if they didn't think you're going to sell any, they wouldn't bother. It wouldn't be in their interests. But I think they maybe overstate the amount of support you're actually going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, the support has been minimal, and especially when things go wrong because they can. And also, as you know, there's a lot to learn. You know, if you come to this with no knowledge, and I'm not a small, I'm just a small business, so yeah, I've got no experience with this. There's a lot to learn, and they're not very good at when things go wrong, putting them right for you, as it's understandable because they are a big beast.
No, definitely not. And I know you sell through Etsy as well. So how's the experience been?
Um, I Etsy is better. Etsy is better. In that it's you're more in control. So I can literally overnight put something up there, see if it sells, and if it does, then promote it. Um, you don't have to get. I do FBA with Amazon, so I have to get stuff into the warehouse and manage all that. Whereas Etsy um, is a lot more user friendly.
That's interesting. And do you find that the customers are different depending where they find you? As in, is it in terms of customer behavior or how they shop? I'm just curious as to whether um, it's different across the platforms.
Uh, eh, yeah, I mean, it's really interesting how people talk to you in the UK and they talk to you in America. And what the lovely thing about what I do is that I'm sending all around the world and I'm having conversations all around the world. And the way people talk to you is really interesting. And the demographic of the people that buy my product as well is really interesting. It's just great that I can sit in my office here and send stuff to every part of the world, um, and that's also the challenge.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I wondered if it differed per platform because I think people who shop on Amazon, I was wondering if there was a sort of perception, particularly because you offer Prime, that everything was going to be next day and very quick turnarounds. Whereas I think Etsy is a platform where people are used to personalization and customization and things taking a little bit longer. Have you noticed that at all, or is that not
Yeah,
really been
yeah,
a
yeah. I mean,
challenge?
that's one thing I like about Amazon is that I don't get involved with the shipping. So if people find the product, they will buy it. They'll get it next day, both here and in the US. And so and I'm not responsible for shipping. Whereas shipping, as a lot of people out there will know, shipping can be a real headache. And Amazon take responsibility for that. So I quite often might get inquiries on Etsy, somebody wanting a bulk order, and I say, well, I'm not supposed to, but I'll say go to Amazon, and then they will guarantee a quick delivery,
Yeah,
and
that's really useful. And
versa.
I suppose for you, it's really useful having FBA for that reason
Yeah,
because it does take a little bit of the pressure off. Because I just wondered, because I guess your products are mostly going to be gifts or, for occasions if they're B2C, Yeah, I was wondering, so it's interesting, and that's great. Now you've explained the technology, so people receive it from Amazon, and then they work with you to get their video uploaded. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing with Etsy is that with Etsy, I offer a more personalized, customized service. So the big thing on Etsy is like with this product, it's a personalized image, and a personalized message and a personalized video. You can't do that on Amazon. So with Amazon, they, uh, with Amazon, I sell pre-branded ones. So it's like it says, I don't know if you can see that, it says memories on that. So you've got, you've, you haven't got, your own customization. And I sell blank ones as well, like this, which, um, like that, where, in fact, this is how I started on Amazon. They're blank, so people can put their own messages on. Um, and it's very DIY. And and people love it. So it's kind of a project. It's more hands-on and more, crafty, but people do really nice things just using the blank ones. They're in control of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think while you can obviously offer more customization on Amazon, I think for you, it probably is going to be a bit of a headache because, just the nature of it and how quickly people expect things to be turned around. How have you found scaling the business while you're offering all this personalization? And I guess there's a bit of operational complexity. Is it, as you said before, you've just got this all down to an art now, so it's not as time consuming? Because I'm thinking that any sort of personalization at all must sort of take up your time. How do you manage that?
Um, because I've been doing it for 40 years, I'm quite good at it. Um, no, um, it is the chicken and egg thing that I would really like to scale this up, and I do feel that it's got enormous potential. Everybody loves the product, and my thing at the moment, because I am small but beautifully formed, I would like to expand both here and in the US. So that's what I put in place the ways to do it. I would very much like to expand, and so I'll put a message out there that if anybody wants to join me, come and join the fun. It is a great product.
It definitely is. But I'm thinking, yeah, I guess because there's only one of you at the moment, I guess you've only got so
You'll have an
much time.
assistant.
So that
You'll have an
that's
assistant.
okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Because I guess time is always going to be the issue when you're doing something that involves your input.
yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. Oh,
Which
so I
is
have to
very
see what happens.
expandable, and I can pass on the knowledge. It's just a question of, when you've got to have the orders to do it, and because a lot of these products are new, I've got to get the bulk orders in before I can expand.
Yeah, I mean, what challenges do you see around creating something that people haven't necessarily seen before? Because as I said earlier, when we spoke, I said, "Oh, I never heard of this," and you say you hear this often. So, what kind of a challenge does that give
Marketing,
you? And
mar-
yeah,
it's marketing. That's all it is. And that's the biggest challenge. I mean, the B2C, I well, it was pre-lockdown where I had the initial idea, and I actually built a website to promote it. And dare I say, I even went on Dragon's Den, to promote it, because it's marketing. And if you haven't got big budgets, you've got to market the product. Um, and if you don't market, you're not going to get people to buy the product. And
oh,
so the same would apply with Amazon. If I threw lots of money at it, I would get it in front of a lot of people just with, different kinds of keywords. But it's just a question of having enough budget to do it.
and I guess also knowing what people are actually looking for as well, because if they don't know your product exists, there's every chance they're not actually searching for it. So that's an
Right,
additional challenge.
that's right. And then you're competing with everybody else that's doing innovative stuff. So it's just trying lots of things continuously. Um,
Yeah. That is a real challenge. And you mentioned earlier, and I know you mentioned this in passing, but I'm going to come back to it. You mentioned that you're on Dragon's Den, which is something I didn't know about you. So when was that, and how did that go? If you
It
don't
was
mind me asking.
well, no, I did it when I was in lockdown, and if you can imagine, I was one of the people that they tore to pieces, and they do the short clip.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I was slaughtered, and I was sitting on the settee with my family, wishing I was that big, and I couldn't go outside to escape. But yeah, I did it for the very reason that you actually said. That I didn't really want investments. I wanted marketing. I wanted people to see the product. Um, and then I thought if I could show the product to millions of people, it would get traction. It didn't.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I wouldn't have asked if I'd realised that was the
No,
outcome.
no,
But
no.
I'm
It's the best thing about people that go on Dragon's Den is they can say I've been on Dragon's Den, and it makes conversation. And also you have to go through quite a lot of hoops. They don't just take anybody. So I had to do a proposal that was really big and prove lots of things. And so it's actually a good exercise just to, you know, of checks and balances, just to see if you can make a go of it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm really surprised that they were negative because it is a great product. And I'm sure, do you find that when you show some, as I said, most people don't hear about the product, but do you find that when you show someone the product, like majority of the time they do say, I've never
Oh,
seen this, this is great?
everybody loves
Because
it.
yeah,
Ev-
it is
ev-
great.
If you look at my Etsy ratings or my Amazon ratings, they're all 5 star. Um, you know, they when you get one of these, you love it. It's that's what keeps me going. It's just a great thing, especially in the digital world where you'll send an email and it will get lost, whereas you send a product, you send one of my products, and it will be kept and shared.
Yeah, and that's so lovely, especially in a world where everything is going digital. It's really nice to have something digital that's also physical.
Yeah, it's the physicality, and I guess I'm old school. I come from print. You know, I like the touchy feely of things, and it hasn't died. People still like it.
They do. They definitely do. And what do those dragons know anyway?
Exactly.
Um, is there anything about manufacturing or selling your products that people would never realise unless they were sort of had the insider scoop, as it were? Is there anything you'd like to share that people might not know?
Well, all the technology comes from China. So if somebody wanted to rip me off, I always, or if I'm not rip off is the wrong word. If somebody's, especially on the B2B side, people say, "Oh, I could do this. I'll go and get it made in China," and I always say, "Well, good luck," because what I've done over the years is I've probably got 10 to 12 different factories that know me, know my language, know my timelines, my budgets, and things. So that's how I can get things turned around quickly. I have to get things turned around quickly because stock comes and goes. So it's the big thing is with what I do is just the tie up with China.
And I would say, based on that, I think something I'm realizing is you've been doing this a long time. So you've built up the relationships, you've got systems, you've got processes. And as you say, that is somebody, yes, could come and try and let's say replicate what you're doing. But actually, I think that they haven't got the however many years experience you've
Yeah.
got behind them. So they're always going to be at a disadvantage. Which is why I often say to people, don't worry too much about people trying to
Yeah.
do the same thing
Uh,
as you because they can never do it like you. And
yeah.
as you say, you've got this wealth of experience and
Yeah.
contacts.
Yeah.
So yes, someone else could have a go, but they would have to be doing it for another 15 years before they reach where you are now, presumably.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say to anybody that tries to do something like this. That don't worry about the competition. Just try and do your best, um, and see if it sells. Because there's always just get stuff out there and see if it sells. Because there's always reason you will know why things won't sell.
And what are some of the things that you've tried that haven't sold out of interest? Has there been anything that you've tried that you thought was a good idea and just didn't take off?
uh, yes, lots of things. Um, it it's in fact I'll show you something.
Oh, that'd be good. Thank you.
Well, no, I'll show. I in my effort to expand the market, I have a friend who is a leading graphic designer in America. So I said, okay, well, we're going to do a range of audio cards that um, that look really good and funky, and I, as you can see, they're great designs,
They are.
and I thought this would work really well in America. So I invested. I did a 4-pack. You open them up and you can test, test, test. You open them up. I thought these were great, and I did these last year, and I put them in. I put them out on Amazon America, and I put them in Etsy, and I put them in Amazon UK. Nothing, nothing. It was like, well, why? Um, you know, I can't even think of the reason. The only reason I can think is that with my with my other designs, they're very small and they work. You can see what it is on a very small design. When this goes down as a small design, you can't see what it is, or it just didn't hit the spot. But that's what you have to do. You have to create products and put them out there and see what sells. And if it doesn't sell, then go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and I think, as we said earlier, I think there's a lot to be said for just trying, having a go, and moving on. I mean, much better to, I forget the exact saying, there is a saying, isn't it? It's much better to try and fail and learn than to just not ever try anything.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm big on that, and it's fortunate if you're a small business, you can do that. You're not, I'm not answerable to anybody as what I do. I just try things and see what works, um, and hope that they do, and hope that one of them will be the big seller that will make me rich and famous.
Well, you know what? If you keep on innovating and trying new things, I think it's going to come.
It will come. It will
It
come.
will. It definitely will. So I've just got a few questions to finish off, if that's okay, David.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, if somebody came to you today or someone's listening to this podcast now and they've got a completely new product idea, what would you tell them to focus on first?
Um, this is to sell on Amazon.
So also sell absolutely anywhere. If they've got an idea and they're thinking, I've got this idea, what do I do now? What's first?
Well, as with anything, you have to create a website. It's no good having the best product in the world if people don't know about it. So you've got to get it in front of people. So in these days of social media, you've got to get the product in front of people with social media. If you haven't got deep pockets, which most people don't, you're competing against the multinationals. You've just got to be clever, and then just build up traction that way. The more people that can see your product, the better. And if it's good, it will rise to the top. But you just have to work really, really hard on social media.
That's really interesting. Thank you. And I guess you've also diversified, haven't you, by being on both Amazon and Etsy as well. And I guess just putting your products in front of new people in new places.
Yeah.
Would you say that's something that's worked for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's where Etsy's good in that it's easy entry. Um, but you are, as with everything, you're competing with a lot of other people. So if, say, you were doing greeting cards and you put it on Etsy, you're going to be competing with thousands of other people selling greeting cards. So it's going to be really difficult to get a range. I'm successful on Etsy because I'm one of the only people doing this product range. Um, and the same with Amazon. So that's my USP. Um, so it's having something unique, um, but on both platforms.
Yeah. And I guess it's about thinking which platform is the best fit as well, whether that's for all your products or a range of products, because I'm not saying that everyone listening needs to be on Amazon and Etsy, because depending what you sell, one or both of those might be a good fit, or they might not be, or it might be that some products work better here and other products
Yeah,
work better there. Um,
yeah,
so as you explained earlier, you sell slightly different products on Etsy as to you do on Amazon, and I think that
yeah,
makes a lot of sense to do that testing and work out what sells where.
Yeah, and if you can have a standalone website, because I'm kind of paranoid that Amazon and Etsy are big
Yeah.
companies that can just like that turn you off. Um, so always have a backup plan. And if you can sell on your own sites, that's that's the best way to go. But it's very difficult to get sales with just having a standalone site without
Yeah.
spending money on marketing.
Yeah, definitely. And my final question, David, is what would your number one piece of advice be for other product creators? And you can say anything you like here. What was the one thing you'd want someone listening to take away?
Just be original. If you're a small, well, if you're a one man band or a small company, you've got to be creative to compete against the big boys. So that's when you're small, you can compete, you can do different things. Be original, innovative, um, and just keep trying different things until you hit the sweet spot.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you so much, David. Thank you for everything you've shared. And we're going to link to your Amazon shop, your Etsy shop, and all of your socials in the show notes. People come and have a good look at your products. For anyone who's listened to this episode, it's well worth going away and watching it so you can see. I know you've heard David's products, but you actually get to see them and see how lovely they are in real life. So, yeah, and thank you again.
Well, thank you. And if anybody's seen the site and they like the products, contact me and I'll give some discount codes if you'd want to come and try it.
That's really generous. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening right to the end of this episode. Do remember that you can get the full back catalogue and lots of free resources on my website, vickyweinberg.com. Please do remember to rate and review this episode if you've enjoyed it, and also share it with a friend who you think might find it useful. Thank you again, and see you next week. Hello, if you're selling on Amazon or you're planning to and you'd like ongoing support as you go, I've just opened the doors to my membership, Amazon Made Easy. It's a space for product-based business owners who want expert guidance, somewhere to ask questions, and a bit of structure and accountability while they build and grow on Amazon. Inside, you'll get regular live Q&A calls with me, optional co-working sessions, practical resources, and a supportive community of people all working on similar things. It's designed to make selling on Amazon feel clearer, simpler, and much less overwhelming, and to give you somewhere to go where you're stuck or unsure of what to do next. You can join at any time and stay for as long as it's helpful. And if you'd like to take a look, you'll find the full link in the show notes.